Welcome everyone to the BOP Civil Defence Emergency Management Hearings for the 2023-28 Group Plan. Can I start by reminding members that the public section of this meeting has been recorded and will be made available on the BOP Regional Council website following the meeting and archived for a period of 3 years. For those members of the public here today, all care will be taken to maintain your privacy. However, as a visitor of the public gallery, your presence may be recorded. By remaining in the public gallery, it is understood you receive your consent spelling of your images inadvertently broadcast. I also remind all present that the local government decision making affords no protection to councillors, council officers and the public for comments made during meetings that are subsequently challenged in the court of law and determined to be slanderous. I can just move on to health and safety. Toilets, so out the main door where you come in, gents are on the left before the lifts and ladies are on the left just past the lifts. You don't need a swipe card to get back in. In case of a fire, head out the door that you came in. There are 2 sets of stairs, one either side of the lift. Take either to the ground floor, go out by a reception and meet across the road in front of the apartment. In case of an earthquake, drop, cover and hold, and we will evacuate, return to proceedings depending on the severity of the earthquake. The building is not in a tsunami evacuation zone, so we will not need to evacuate in a tsunami. However, it is worth noting that we're in a room that is used as part of the Group Emergency Coordination Centre. So in an emergency, we may be asked to relocate. If this occurs, we will either relocate to another room or suspend the hearings and deliberations, depending on the specifics of the emergency. Dace, can I ask you to say?
Mino tata. Whakataka tau te uru, cease the winds from the west. Whakataka taho ki te taonga, cease the winds from the south. Kia mā kina kina ki uta, let the breeze blow over the land. Kia mā tara tara ki tai, let the breeze blow over our oceans. Te iaki ana te atakura, let the red tip dawn come. He huka, he teo, he hohu. With a touch of frost, a promise of a glorious day. Tihei oru.
So we can move on to the election of a hearings panel chairperson. Now please call for a nomination for the hearings panel chairperson.
Is that we worship the council?
Say aye.
Thank you very much, Mr. George. Welcome everybody. It's a pleasure to be here for the BOP Civil Defence Emergency Management Hearings. First of all, of course, I'd like to welcome our sponsors who have joined us today and also acknowledge our staff from BOP Regional Council and also BOP Emergency Management Group. Great to have you all here today. Just a reminder, it is being live streamed, so if your phones could please be on silent. We do have 2 submitters who will be making their presentation in person today, but we have received a submission of this smaller. So I'd like to start this meeting by asking for any apologies. None received, thank you. We'll move on to, are there any declarations of interest? There appears to be none. Also note that there will be no public excluded business transferred into the open. And I'll just briefly overview the hearings process at this stage. So welcome once again to our 2 submitters. We do have your written submissions in front of us, which we've read. We look forward to hearing your presentation this morning. Just a reminder that the presentations will be 15 minutes in duration. If you wish to use up all of that 15 minutes, that's up to you. But if there is time remaining, then that will be an opportunity for us as a panel to ask any questions of clarification. Also, just a reminder, if your presentation could please stick to the core purpose of this hearing. And it's important to note that evidence presented at this hearing must relate to the original submission that you have made as well. So not able to address any other matters outside of that scope. But without further ado, I'd like to kick off and we'll start this hearing. So first of all, I have a recommendation that please have a mover and a seconder to receive the report draft of the Civil Defence Emergency Management Group Plan 2023-28 hearings report. Hearings report, and also note the appointment of myself, me, Tanya Tetzel, as chairperson of the BOP and Civil Defence Emergency Management Group hearings. Let's move to our museum. Those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I'd now like to invite our first submitter. We've got Angela Wallace from Volunteering Services Social.
Diving some social.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Wow, that's
Ina koutou katoa. Tōpiri toku maunga, tainui toku waka. Waikato toku iwi. Wāhi toku maunga. Kei no ko o ki Takuia, for Angela Wallace toku ringoa. He kai whakahaere ato. Tōku tu rau ki tū tāpiri. My name is Angela Wallace. I'm the manager for volunteering services. Social work. So thank you for playing today. I'll give you a little bit of background to volunteering services. So social work had operation of volunteering services last year. We volunteered by 18 ceased to exist previous incarnation. And our role as volunteering services is to champion, grow, and sustain volunteering across the West Bay of NT. In social work, the social work mission is to strengthen community organisations, build and empower social communities. So this is where we come to community volunteering. My message to you today is that volunteering services is a key stakeholder that is in emergency management. It should be included in the emergency planning. If you want to plan draft, you've got the beautiful analogy of time up top. And with the intention of allowing everyone to take part and contribute to keeping each other and our community safer. Getting space so we can collectively in our common goal is to create a resilient safe. Approach here that says thinking about how we'll get through emergencies and working out plans together, not wait until we are in the middle of an emergency response. So that's where we come to the importance of volunteers in emergency response. And the community engagement that you've done on your plan highlighted from the public the importance of communication, not to everyone who's involved, and having leadership and ongoing support for an emergency and the recovery phase. And we all learned from Marina that the importance of the community and having good communication, letting people be involved with their passion and as in their own neighbourhood and environment. The quote on the group plan says, these days, part of any emergency response is to consider the role of volunteers. What important work they might be able to help with, how to keep them safe. Keeping people at the heart of what we do involves recognising and appreciating and supporting the ability of communities to respond to and recover from emergencies. That's the good plan. So we, as volunteering services social work, would like to see volunteers at the heart of this group plan and more emphasis placed on volunteering throughout the plan, particularly in a readiness response and recovery phase. So the role of volunteering services in emergency management, particularly around relationships and whanaungatanga. So we have trusted relationships with social sector organisations and communities, and social is very strong in this and support social sector organisations across the East Bay. We have those relationships in place, and we're a trusted voice. And communication, established communication networks. And with the backing of Bay County Emergency Management, we can have an emergency volunteer management system at the ready. So we're a key stakeholder in this area. So in the area of readiness and community response planning, just want to talk about our relationships that we have in the sector. We have established networks, we have a relationship with neighbourhood support, with people on the ground, with the neighbourhood. We have volunteer coordinators in Waihee Beach, Katikati, Puki, and we here in Tauranga. We have a database of emergency volunteers, which is being built at the moment and it's in progress. We've got people in there, we're ready to go. And we're ready to onboard spontaneous volunteers. And as we saw in Rena, it can be a huge outpouring of spontaneous volunteers. And we have a New Zealand-wide network of volunteer centres where we know who's in those centres out there in that shared community. It's not in our region. Support that with volunteers through our relationship. So the database that we would love to activate with the easy onboarding for spontaneous volunteers. Skills-based records, so when people are onboarded, they can say what their skills are, what qualifications are, we don't like that. Built-in induction and training modules so that when people sign up, they can have a safety briefing, we have specific videos out to tasks that they're going to do. With a mobile app, so they can get alerts on their mobile wherever they are, and targeted texts and emails to different groups depending on their skills. And this is all in the better impact volunteer management strategy that we're looking to activate. So we're experts in this area, it's what we do. We would like to be involved in training exercises when you have them so that we can understand your processes and fit in well with those. And we want to help write volunteer management plans in the response area. So the relationships, we have a database of willing emergency volunteers that we want to build. We have a relationship with Student Volunteer Army and we collaborate with them. And they're building their crew and community organisations who trust us to know that how we work. About the database. And we can also support with that coordination of corporate volunteering if there's large groups that want to come in and do a volunteer effort, donations for services to or an emergency. Please let me know what time is. Bye. But we really want to sit alongside your volunteer coordinator and the GBCC and the EOC. So we have a team of trained volunteer coordinators who rotate so that we cover across any shifts that you're doing, and sharing your official messages through our networks through our relationship. In the recovery phase, so ongoing volunteer coordination, we are able to support volunteer groups, communication, resources. So if there's a whole lot of shovels needed in Waihee Beach, we can have a volunteer to pick those up from Bunnings and drop them out there. And a really important part of looking after volunteers is recognition, making sure that they feel appreciated for the efforts and they feel like contribution valued. So having those skills and recognizing volunteers. And also debriefing. So after a volunteer effort, when people have gone into a high stakes situation, we want to have that time of debriefing to make sure everyone's well-being is with them. And evaluation after learning and improving. So what are we asking? We would like to see the volunteer role recognised in the group plan. We would like to be involved in writing the volunteer management plan, and we would like to discuss an MOU with Emergency Management or emergency management around what our role is, responsibility, so that's defined and understood. We want to be involved in training exercises And we'd like to see confirm that GSD or BOC during that emergency. So in summary, volunteering services is a key stakeholder. Volunteers are vital in the emergency response. And go back to time, I can show that image of the tree with roots that's well rooted and grounded. And the whakatauki that you used is Te tina kirunga, tamore kiraro. And what is flourish above, we must firmly root it below. Tina koutou, tēnā koutou.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Angela. We do have a few minutes. I wonder if there are any questions from our panel.
Two questions if I may, Chair. So I'm just wondering how do you see your organisation fitting alongside community response teams which will be volunteers?
Having the relationships with the community response team and working with the welfare committee, we would be able to help with communication, so that official messaging gets to the people who are on the ground, we have those relationships. We don't want to get involved when we're not necessary, but we want to empower the groups that are already there. Community response team. We need to fire up that community hub, get on the boil, get some meal. So we just want to empower them and make sure they have the right messages and understand what is going on.
And my second question is, noting that this is a group plan and based further in Western Bay County, so we have that Rotorua and Eastern Bay as well. So how do you see that potentially fitting or expanding, or is that quite expanding, just focusing on the Western Bay? How do you see that?
Yeah, at this point we're focusing on the Western Bay. We did have a presence as volunteering Bay Community of the Water Bay Community, and we still have some volunteers organisations, particularly who are registered with us. It's in our long-term plan that we would like to be able to support those the other parts of the region. At this point, our focus is on Western Bay Community. This database does have the potential to have subgroups with their own admin, so that it can be harnessed to use in different regions. There was someone available to
Chair, you should be really just talk detail. I thought it was really quite interesting in the estimated results. And you're listening, thank you so much to share more items. Social. I didn't mean to list Stuart in the elevator, so I'm just making sure that it was really good that we met the same person. Look, it is absolutely the means of not just the emergency management things, but everyone to be able to join hands and respond. There is at times frustrating to the legal accountability, which is some of the trickiness about being able to hold things well. I like to say from what I've seen in the emergency management that it's not an unwillingness, we're just trying to unravel that thing. You may be aware of the case that's before the courts at the moment, and yet speaks to some of their accountability and notwithstanding the fact times of that. Sector is diminishing before our eyes, involved by long-standing activities in the sector. It's even more so.
And so I'll just have a quick question as well. And first of all, can I thank you both for making this submission. I also note the detail that you provided around equators as well, and the you know, what's on including that too. Now the database, thank you for coming here and offering help and support. That's certainly appreciated. I just wondered around the database with the volunteers that you have registered, understanding that there are also at times privacy concerns. So I appreciate that we won't necessarily have full access to your database, but I just wonder if the volunteers who you do have signaled interest in civil defence or helping in times of crisis, understanding that volunteering to different people may be different things.
Yeah, it's part of the volunteer sign up. If you're signing up for a role in anything, box they can check, say I'm willing to help in an emergency. They tick that box and they help with that group of emergency volunteers. And we understand that in an emergency, quite a lot of those ones that have put their hands up might not be available. They might be affected by themselves, which is where the spontaneous onboarding is really important. We'll help with those ones that are, well, how do we help?
Thank you very much. We are just running out of time. Will there be final comments here tonight? We'll table those. Thank you very much. Well, can I thank you, Angela, and we really appreciate you making a bit of submission, but we also greatly appreciate you taking the time to come and present. So, you're welcome to stay put for the next presentation, or if you need to. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's now my pleasure to invite our next submitter to the table. We have Keith Hay, who is joining us, and he comes from the Katikati Waihipi Residents and Ratepayers Association. And I understand there's a PowerPoint presentation.
Thank you very much for giving me the first strategic we probably know a little about the social impacts of disaster, but we're not really able to understand the essence of this. What can be done to make life safer so that civil defence is less likely to be required in the future? We think that both councils need to be proactive in making buildings and infrastructure more resilient, so there is less risk of civil emergencies. Following suggestions might appear to be just common sense, but they are not. Source consents, limits need to be placed on the extent of environmental services around equals. Stormwater attenuation for air events should not be fostering in governments. Council allows developers to build walls that restrict overflow paths and increase erosion and flooding risk of joining properties. And refuse to take action when they get complaints about water. And this is involvement around to the apartments of 27 Street, basins of this is Duval Creek, just upstream of the bridge of the Street, and you can see a wooden wall out into the creek. That's a little. It's now fully water right up to the top. It's about a metre high. And in fact, it's actually the point of the walls on the property. District Council is ignoring advice from the National Council on final four levels. For example, the schedule for regional council. Quote, the below advice on flooding and access during floods is important and should be given adequate consideration. The advice was previously given in the comments provided by BOPRC on 15 October 2021. Yet it's not included in the section 92 letter from Western Auckland District Council through the applicant dated 1 November 2021. Flooding problems have already occurred at 27 Elm Street in the opposite bank of during a minor storm. They can be expected to become significantly larger problems in bigger storms and is exacerbated by pollution. That's probably. Waves reach up 2 more, but in this problem, just under 1.55. Site has been flooded many times since 15% was granted. If during the areas of Wadi Beach, the worst one will always be subject to surface flooding in the heavy rain. The effects of this flooding can be minimized by less and storm pumps. However, we believe flooding caused the most damage on 29 May this year. We are particularly concerned that the district council's media releases have not always been accurate. And carefully aimed at avoiding any claims of damage caused by the flood. For example, council claimed they linked up to any rain in May 29, even though it was on their Facebook page the day before. Instead of rain, west of what time, including local road, we expect 60 to 90 millimeters of rain with thunderstorms possible. Peak rates of 15 to 25 millimeters per hour of thunderstorms. Fell on 500 Monday to 9 p.m. Monday. And we've got a little bit more than that, but that was a warning that should be taken notice of. It's claimed that the rain was 61 millimeters in 1 hour. Well, that was the rainfall of the water treatment plant. The rainfall at the dam itself was higher, it was about 90. It's about 90 millimeters, but it fell over a much longer period of time. The red graph is the rainfall of the water treatment plant, and the blue graph is the rainfall of the dam. So what's not nearly as bad as 61 millimeters or something. The post on the council Facebook page the day after the flood called the event of 1,250 year occurrence. Council have since submitted a reply to by a request that we submit people on the meeting. They based that on how completely floodwaters involved the one swimming detention ponds. Council staff claimed that opening the penstock valve would have added just 10 minutes to the time taken to overtop, but we dispute that. Pumping the tailor's height volume graph shows the volume of the reservoir below the primary storm bank. It's 23,000 cubic meters, while between the primary and the auxiliary storm base is 29,000. That's very close to a ratio of 4 to 5. So it took 50 minutes before we ran over the volume. Extra in-stock valve that you like. That's the Tommy and Taylor graph. Penstock Valve had been opened the day before, it would most probably have prevented the dam from chopping it and reduce the downstream damage. Council is not prepared to recognise the problems. The problems are not likely to get fixed. It's extremely important to have accurate information about the performance of the dam, because it is critical to mitigate the flooding in the future. You're concerned that it is the dam that has been going for the flooding downstream of the Runwell Creek, and it is the operation of the dam that is the problem. Flood damage in Runwell Creek would be much less if sediment had not been allowed to build up in the dam. Also, the mouth of the primary spillway been kept clear. It still hasn't been cleared 2 months after the It was the first thing that the chairman of the regional council noticed was why there was vegetation in front of that hole. In future, flooding and associated damage can be minimized by modifying the primary spillway to prevent it becoming blocked, leaving the Penstock valve fully open, perhaps with a small upstand, and making the auxiliary spillway press horizontal. All obstructions that will induce the turbulent flow that causes erosion should be removed from the grass to the auxiliary spillway. Unfortunately, that was the first thing that the council fixed. Very thin. Stormwater detention ponds at the private Pines Village need to be emptied of all sediment and the breach and repaired. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay. This is a stormwater detention, a series of stormwater detention ponds that are now under construction by the Pines Retirement Village. You can see that dam between the 2 ponds has been built, and the reeds growing in the pond, as it's very shallow for the sun. And this is runs from down the way of the retirement village. You can see the retirement village side. Sorry. Stormwater infrastructure which needs to be operated so that high capacities are sufficient for expected stormwater flows. We understand that about 76 million. That's good, but none of it should be diversified. To make side. I think a very complicated situation. Thank you.
There are 2 minutes remaining. If there are any questions. So thank you for, I do have a very quick question. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for the detail that you've given us. I do hear your concerns around infrastructure, but also around accurate information required. My question is just around the communication issues that you've raised. So there seems to be the difference between local council, but what the bargaining emergency management civil defence Facebook page was sending out. What would be most helpful from the local perspective in terms of communication? So obviously we go out with bargaining civil defence communication, but are you saying that that also needs to match with the local communication? And is Facebook the best way to share this information?
Well, I'm the divorce from communication with the not sure why that is. See.
We do take on board your It's certainly a key point around needing accurate information. Question?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You made it very clear. We appreciate your time today. Look, thank you very much. I'd like to thank both of our students for the presentation and of course, for the public and their colleagues in the forum too. I'll just give you a brief overview of what will happen now. We've taken on board the additional information that you have presented to us this morning. And so now the hearing panel will conclude this meeting and we'll go into deliberations. Now, when that will take the feedback on board, this is in the public excluded section because we will be developing a recommendation based on the I do just want to note that for the OIMA reasons, there is a section 48 section 1D. Withholding the information is necessary to enable the local authority to deliberate in private on its recommendation in any proceedings to which this paragraph applies. So that's the formal reasoning, but I can let you know that this final recommendation report will be available to you in the public at the Civil Defence Emergency Management Group Joint Committee meeting on the 29th of September. So the 29th of September is this process. And that day we will have the meeting with the Faculty District Council, but we'll also have it uploaded to YouTube and the website if you wish to see the meeting for yourself in person. But without further ado, we thank you very much for your time. Thank you for the staff being here, and I now give you this hearing.